It's 2025 and we're seeing a lot of homes stay on the market. We have a lot of owners that are saying, hey, listen, what is going on? I want to sell it at X, but we're not getting X. Do I have to sell it at Y? Because I don't want to sell it at Y. The buyers want it at Z. We're all over the place. We're going to be giving you tips in 2025 to actually make sure you maximize the value of your home. And there's going to be a lot of numbers. So buckle up. We're going to start with number one, which is the median, not the average, but the median home in Manhattan is 1.5. In Brooklyn, it's 1.1. In Queens, it's $700,000. When you hear those numbers, obviously that's the median number. We're not including anything else. However, when you actually boil it down, why do we have the median numbers? We have the median numbers because of what has sold. Okay. This isn't what's on the market, what's in contract. This is what is sold. If you price your home within 5% of what it's sold, you get 40% more buyers through the doors. That's a huge difference between overpricing it and then adjusting in 3 months. I have this conversation all the time. Hey, Charles, I know you want $2 million, or I'm sorry, I know I want $2 million and you want 1.8, 1.9. Why don't we just start at 2 and then go to that? The reason being is there's one question I get every single time after 3 months, 90 days on the market or 120 days on the market is, from a buyer, they always ask, why is it still on the market? Why is it, what's wrong with this home that it's still on the market? It's on for 120 days, 150 days. You don't want that black eye when it comes to them looking at Street Easy. They want it fresh and nice and at the right value up front. 5% within the sales price garners 40% more showing requests. And the biggest thing right here is overpriced leads to sitting on the market. Days on the market is 74 days, up almost 9% from last month and 10% year over year. So that means homes are sitting on the market. Does that mean pricing is down? We're going to discuss that. Now let's talk about, before we go to market, minor staging, minor repairs. Let's talk about that. When people walk in, you want the buyers to understand this home could be mine, not why is the ceiling cracked? Why is there an unglazed tub? Why is there too much furniture? Why is the bathroom floor cracked? Why is the kitchen disgusting? Whatever the case is, minor repairs. I'm talking about $5,000, $10,000, nothing more. Obviously, if it's something crazy and you have, say, a townhouse or something else, that's a little bit different. But if you're talking about a $2 million place, put in $5,000. Do the minimum so buyers don't walk in and be like, well, I got to do that. And then I have to walk in, I have to do that. And then I have to repaint it. And then I have to clean it. And then I have to do this. Especially if you have outdoor space, please power wash the outdoor space because nobody wants to see all the moss that's on the floor because it takes away from what they're going to potentially enjoy the outdoor space with. Professional staging. This is completely up to you and the broker. To be honest, it is up. You got to be able to at least virtually stage it to bring people through the door. But if you want to professionally stage it, obviously you could talk about, hey, listen, I'll put up the upfront cost when it sells. I'll split it with you or you pay for it out of your commission. There's ways to go around that. Marketing to the right buyers. The number one thing that you have to do is videos. Videos. This is a video centric everything. Okay. People now are watching YouTube more on TVs than anything else. They're watching it more than CNN, Fox, CNBC. They're watching more YouTube on a TV set than any other program. So what does that mean? Who's to say they're not sitting down with their spouse or themselves and watching the property tour on the big screen? You must have a professionally made property tour that is not just photos over a voiceover and obviously photos. You need well documented, someone that is personable in front of the camera that can sell it. I have countless times where I've talked to a buyer who is like, listen, it's been snowing. I didn't want to come into New York City. I saw your property tour and here I am. I had one in Brooklyn. Someone said, listen, I actually stopped my search. That person ended up buying 250 West 90th Street. Someone in Brooklyn came by and they said, listen, I actually stopped my search. I got the Street Easy notification and here I am at the open house. I don't want to be here, but I actually do want to make an offer. They made an offer right there on the spot. Am I going to say it's everything? I'm not going to say it's everything, but I am going to say it is everything to have a video. If you don't have a video, you are not in the 23. You are not able to share the video to someone international or someone that's not in New York City or someone that's working from home or someone that is an investor, someone that's overseas, someone that's traveling, whatever the case is. You have to be able to send the video out. It's an easy way instead of just a listing, which is photos and text. in the description. Navigating offers and negotiating like a pro. Obviously, with the DOJ coming down and saying you can't talk about commission at all publicly on any websites, obviously that sounds good to the consumer. The bad thing is when you look at agents, you're now comparing apples to apples when agents are not apples to apples. Apples to apples is a commodity. Oil to oil is a commodity. Water to water is a commodity. Agent to agent is not. There are people that know how to sell, negotiate, follow up, get the right price. And then there's agents that spray and pray. They put it out and then they just pray and they hope the best thing happens for your home. That's not how it works. Negotiation is an art. Selling is an art. Following up is an art. You have to choose the right agent. What is 1% of $1 million? That's $10,000. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. $10,000 to a bad agent is gone like that. Someone puts in your home's price at $1 million. You have a bad agent who receives $900,000. Stays on the listing side, $900,000. They come to you and they say, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, we just received an offer. I know you're priced at $1 million. An offer just came in at $900,000. Let's just split it and go at $950,000. That's a bad agent. That's a bad agent. A bad agent immediately goes for splitting the difference. You have to play the game. There's a game to be played in negotiations. Okay. If you have anything to do with Voss, he is an incredible negotiator. FBI former negotiator, has amazing books out there. And he talks about there has to be a win-win situation. If you immediately give the home away, the buyer doesn't feel like they're getting anything, or they didn't even need to try. And then they say, maybe I'm getting buyer's remorse. And then they put in lower offer or they pull out of the deal. Let's go into some of the seller mistakes. Number one is skipping repairs. Already talked about overpricing, poor marketing, misunderstanding the board actual process, especially when it comes to what they're actually looking for. There's a lot of brokers out there that are just completely unfamiliar with going, but what are the standards when it comes to, say, dogs? Is it multiple dogs? Is there a weight limit? What about the debt to income ratio? What about the post-closing liquidity? What about what they're going to use the home for, whether it's a guarantor or parents buying for children or a gifting, or what about the sublet? There is so much that goes into the board package. You need to put the right buyer in front of the board. You need the right broker to be able to ensure that the right buyer is actually looking through the home instead of kicking you out of the home. And the broker hasn't even pre-qualified the buyer. It could be even the first home and they're international and they're coming in and they want to use it as an investment. It's a co-op. And you're like, why did I just leave the house if that's not even able to be done? Your agent matters. Let's just talk about this. Top agents sell properties 21 days faster and secure 5 to 7% better sales prices. Let me say that again. 3 weeks on average, 21 days faster, and 5 to 7% better sales more money in your pocket. More money in your pockets. We're talking about $50K when it comes to 5%, $70K when we're coming to 7% on $1 million property. Are you kidding me? I think that's proving the 1%, 2%, or whatever might be more for one agent over another agent. And let's just go down 2 areas, which is number one is buyers are very demanding. Okay. So the idea that the home that you own is exactly what they want is good. Yes. However, they want perfection, unfortunately. So it's either perfect home or perfect price. If you get both, that's impossible because the seller would just say, no, I'm worth more. So when you're picking the agent and you are deciding on the price, say, okay, who is the buyer? How are you marketing it? What is your sales strategy? What is your showing? What is your follow-up? What is your pricing? What is your marketing? What is your value proposition to me? Number one. Number two is, what is the video? How are you going to formulate the video? What are you going to do on social media? Where is this newsletter going to be going? Where is my actual mailings going to be going? What is it going to be saying on the brochures? Be specific. Why? Because the buyers are. So if you have any question, leave in the comments below. We're always here, obviously, to field any questions. We have our actual contact information down in the description. I am Charles Botenston of Botenston Properties International here in Midtown Manhattan. We're going to be going live every single week, at least 3 times, and answering all questions. So if you have any questions, leave in the comments, and we are always here to field your questions about Manhattan, New York City, and national real estate. Have a great day.